drive across this big, brown, flat, mysterious, crazy country, Coca-Cola's new 500ml bottle with an extra 20% free presents Martin Molloy with Mick Molloy and Tony Martin.
And today, Mick's out on the road with the Dalai and his backing group, Llama Rama. We've got you front row seats for another spectacular Galaxy of Stars. And for dance fans, we've got news of the Tap Dogs movie, the world record Macarena, and Mick Molloy's new River Dance Spectacular. We're looking for new friends on Radio Gladiators. We'll play Sticky Beats as always, and joining us live today, it's swimming sensation Daniel Kowalski. Yes, all this and then some coming up on the program that promises all the terrifying realism of Medivac, Martin Molloy. Department needs you. You got this emergency surgery where it is today. You build it up. You're the best damn chopper pilot stroke microsurgeon Brisbane's ever seen. You go back in there and tell the board to stick it. Tell us to stick it. I don't care if you were Albert Anyone? This is Martin Molloy. Are we going to air, Gracie? All right. That's
rudely interrupted our discussion there. Should I pull the microphone down?
Oh, right. Okay. This is community radio. Right around the nation, Martin Molloy. That was Stars with Simply Red, and Simply Red with Stars, if you prefer.
Any way you like.
Here's what's going on. We're sitting here. We go, how are we going to get into the first bit? Should you throw to the sting or should I? That's the kind of intellectual discussions we have. And who's involved, by the way, people? Well, it's me, Tony Martin, and this bloke over here, a man who yesterday told his girlfriend it's either me or 60 Minutes, Mick Molloy.
Well, you know, at some stage you've got to make a decision.
We'll get to Kiro Gate eventually on the program today, but now let's do what we've been discussing for the last 4 minutes.
Do we make a decision?
Will it be me?
Lead away, Tony.
All right, let's have ourselves a quick Dalai update. It was worth all the trouble.
Thank God we worked it out. All right, here we are. Right, smack bang in the middle of a Dalai update. Now to begin, can I just clear up a bit of confusion that has been reigning around the town for the last couple of days?
What's that?
The Dalai Lama is not the newborn child of Paula Yates and Michael Hutchence currently doing the rounds in Sydney.
No.
And Heavenly Harani Tiger Lily is not the crusty old spiritual leader getting around town in a frock.
That's right.
It's the other way round, people.
It is.
Everyone clear now? We all got that. Thank you. Let's move on. Though it would be interesting if they did meet. Heavenly Harani, Dalai Lama. Dalai Harani, Heavenly Lama. Oh, work it out for yourself, you two. In fact, I'm pretty sure, Tone, the Dalai's parents were originally going to call him Dalai Lama Tiger Lily. Yeah, that would have been nicer, I think. Of course, if they were to meet, I'm sure the Chinese government would have a bit of a whinge about it. How's their form? Yeah. They don't mind telling people who they can and can't see, do they? I'm supposed to be going on a date this Friday night, but until I get the green light from the Chinese government, I can't confidently go ahead and book a restaurant. They don't want John Howard to meet the Dalai Tone. No. They say if he does, things could get a little nasty. Know what I mean? A little nasty.
Yeah.
You like my Cockney accent?
Very nice. Things do break, Mr. Howard.
Yes, they do. Michael Caine's just popped by. Did you know? And I'm thinking, Tone, they didn't have any qualms about Mr. D hooking up with Alexander Downer, did they? In fact, I think they went ahead and arranged that. Did they? Well, it seems unless you've got that music hall vaudevillian slapsticky appeal, you're ordered straight out of the pool. And it's not just the Dalai Tone. Apparently, it's all spiritual leaders. They've got them right under the thumb. I was speaking to Mahatma Coate. No, he can't scratch his ass without permission from the Chinese government. Has to ring him every week. Come on, can I go on the footy show, please? They go, well, is Sterlo dressed as a Smurf? I don't know. Work it out for yourself. Mind you, the Dalai's not exactly sitting around Tone waiting for John Howard to pop by for a cuppa. He seems to have quite a bit on his plate anyway. I know for a fact today he was meeting with the people from Grundy's. No, he's very concerned about the proposed changes to the Wheel of Fortune format. Wasn't pleased to learn that Burjo's moustache was still in exile either. What else has he been up to? Oh, yesterday he went shopping with Amanda Vanstone. He had a lovely time, apparently. They just cruised around town, ripping down curtains, parading in front of the mirror. He's quite a fashion plate, the Dalai. Did you see him at the Australian Fashion Awards last night? I don't think he was interested in buying anything. He was just keen to see how high the hemline should be this spring.
Oh, yeah.
I know he's keen to get it up above the knee. In fact, I overheard him saying you'd dearly like to attend this year's Melbourne Cup in a mini, but look, do we need another Gene Shrimpton-style scandal? I have to ask.
Isn't it Pret-a-Porter week? That's where he'll be going next.
That's where
He's got very firm views Malloy's on haute couture.
Indeed.
Dalai Lama for you.
There you go. There is some good news for the Dalai, though, Tone. The Chinese government have given him the okay to pose nude for Black and White magazine. They've done some very arty, moody shots, apparently, with a totally stark as Dalai just standing there holding a fish in front of the tackle. In fact, he takes a bloody good photo, the Dalai. Did you see that one in the paper yesterday, Tone? It was a beauty. It was just like that classical Marilyn Monroe photo, except it was the Dalai standing over the grate with his dress billowing up round his hips, exposing the pins while he pouted at the camera. Very sexy. In fact, I think the press are calling him the leggy Dalai Lama as of now. In fact, Tone, I've got his new calendar here. Yeah. Have a look. What do you make of that? What's this? There you go. There's your February. There's your... No, Tone. Tone, trust me. No matter how hard you try, you just can't scratch those black dots off.
That's the Rembrandts, and I think we know what that was here at Martin Molloy, where let's go all showbiz, just for a bit of a brief sojourn, shall we? It's time for Galaxy of Stars. Mick, do I have my glasses on today?
Yeah, can't quite tell.
Yeah, yes, they're on. Yep. That's right. No, they're not the drawn-on ones. Just checking, because I've been unsure all day. I had the TV on this morning. It was some American news program, and they played the shorts for the new Barbra Streisand movie.
Oh, yeah.
So, that caught my attention immediately. So I'm watching it, and without thinking, I've just started fumbling around for my glasses, not realising I already had them on. Because whenever they cut to Barbara... There's so much Vaseline and gear on the lens, so much gauze between her and the camera, it's bloody hard to tell if it's even her.
I hear you.
The film's called The Mirror Has Two Faces, and I tell you what, they're both pretty damn blurry. Barbara's obviously checked out both the faces in the mirror and decided she doesn't like either of them. Because they do that in Hollywood. You'll often see it, especially in, your older films, you'll see it, and they pull it from time to time these days. Jane Fonda, people like that.
Oh, yeah.
When the leading lady's getting on, they whack on the special blurry lens. The idea being it makes them look younger, but in fact it just makes you wonder if it's time to start updating the prescription on your specs. And the ridiculous thing is, it's only on the shots of her. So she'll be like talking to Jeff Bridges. He's as sharp as a tack. You can't miss him. Dean Semler's pulled focus perfectly. Then they cut to Barb's, and suddenly my Uncle Ernie's on the camera. We're watching an out-of-focus home movie. I'm waiting for Barbara to hold up a 2-foot flathead on a line. And they've spent like a year filming this thing because Barbara's been continually unhappy with how she looks in the rushes. And I've heard that no one on the set is allowed to look directly at her. She's like an eclipse. There's an 11-second window in the late afternoon when you can look at her, but even then only through a piece of smoked glass. Very strict regulations. And while we're talking stars of the musical theatre, how about that little troll, Andrew Lloyd Webber? See what he's up to?
He's in court.
6 years ago, he was sued by a New York Catholic folk musician, Ray Rep, who claimed the main theme from Phantom of the Opera was pinched from his 1978 religious song, Till You. The case never even made it to trial. And now, listen to this, Lloyd Webber is countersuing this bloke, saying that Till You was actually lifted from his 1969 musical, Joseph and the Technicolor Dreamcoat. So what Lloyd Webber's saying, in effect, is that he's ripped himself off. Phantom is ripped off from this 78 song, which was itself ripped off from Joseph and his Dreamcoat. Well, I hope Sir Andrew will be taking himself to court. Your Honour, I submit that my song is nothing more than a thinly disguised copy of one I did 20 years earlier. I demand that I be allowed to seize all my own assets and hold them until I have fully reimbursed myself for royalties owing. Then he can switch hats and just defend himself. I completely reject the notion that I'm a plagiarist. Well, is that right, Mr. Lloyd Webber? Well, if we could call the next witness, Mr. Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart. Oh, shit, tell him I'm not here. Tell him I'm not here. You love, that's Deborah Cox on your Deb here at Martin Molloy. At last, the long-awaited dance event of the year is here. Do not miss this once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to witness live the brilliant, the awesome, the occasionally sober Mick Molloy, Lord of the Dance.
Whoa, hokey pokey. Whoa, hokey pokey. Shut up, would you? Whoa.
One look at Mick as he piss-farts about on stage in his figure-hugging tights, and you'll know his sock drawer is completely empty. This 2.5-hour dance spectacular includes all the classics: the Nut Bush, the Bus Stop, the Mashed Potato, the Hustle, Ring-a-Ring-a Rosie, and one of the most stunning Mick Jagger impersonations you are ever likely to see. Widely regarded as the master of modern dance, here's what the great Mikhail Baryshnikov said about Mick Molloy earlier this year.
Without doubt, Mick Molloy is the enfant terrible of modern dance.
To which Mick replied,
Who are you calling an enfant terrible? Cop that, you commie bastard!
in the world of modern dance, no flame burns brighter than the one poking out of Mick's arse as he performs the haunting dance of the flaming arseholes.
Oh, now it's getting a bit hot on the butt. Oh, somebody, quickly, pat me on the bottom. Somebody. Hello, that's hot.
So book early to secure your seats for Mick Molloy, Lord of the Dance, unquestionably the finest artist since the Bolshoi.
Who are you calling a Bolshoi artist?
So good. That's John Mellencamp here at Martin Molloy. We're in the next hour. What's coming up? Well, Medal Boy Daniel Kowalski is going to be with us.
Okay.
He'll be. We'll all be going out for a swim, will we?
Medal Boy.
That's what I'm calling him.
All right, done.
We'll see how he likes it in the next hour. Also, Radio Gladiators is imminent, as is Sticky Beaks. Also in the
Sounds like a threat.
Yeah, I'm afraid it's coming up. There's no turning back. Sticky Beaks, your chance to go to Germany.
Yep.
No other show offering you that at this stage. All courtesy of ARC Music Television on Optus Vision. Now, what about you've injected some culture into the show, probably without realising it, with your Lord of the Dance spectacular, Mickey.
Yeah, well.
While we're talking dancing, how about that Macarena? It's the dance that refuses to die. I thought by the time we came back from holidays it'd all be over. You know, I thought once people copped an eyeful of our treasurers shaking the buttocks, the craze would be over. But no, it's been number one in the US for 8 straight weeks. Here in Australia, it's currently at number 1, number 2, number 20 and number 86. 4 different versions.
How does that happen? It's 4 different versions.
4 different versions of the same number. Number 86, who would that be? Is Nolene Donaher come out of retirement? The version of the Macarena. And listen to this on Sunday at the Viva Mexico Festival in LA. In Los Angeles, 75,000 people attempted to break the world record for the most amount of people dancing together at the same time. Their dance of choice, the Macarena.
Wow.
And the Guinness Book of Records people haven't given it the thumbs up yet. They're still examining the footage to make sure everyone was actually doing it. They're that stringent, apparently. Look up there in row 60, that bloke isn't swivelling his hips properly. But 75,000, surely we can top that here in Australia. Didn't we break the boot scooting record? Or at least there was a good crack at it in Tamworth, I know that.
We did. We occupied an entire main street.
That's right. So surely, you know, all we need is a group of 80,000 or more. Next time we get together, somebody just remember to bring the Kasingal along. We can Macarena our way into the Guinness Book. Like, say next time there's an anti-government protest rally in Canberra, instead of taking to the gift shop with a couple of bollards, let's turn on a mass Macarena. I think that'd be good. Or am I just reading the public wrong? Are people getting sick of the Macarena?
No.
Sure?
Which version?
All right.
So that's what they do. They toss it aside and get another one.
A new version. I don't know. People around the office, every time you mention the word around the office, they're not. Let's just let's open the door there, Gracie, and let's blast a bit of it into the office. That'd be a thumbs down.
I think so.
What else is going on in the world of dance, Mickey?
Well, Tone, we've been talking a lot about tap dogs, Australia's toe-tapping construction workers who are currently taking America by storm, thus cementing the undeniable bond between hard manual labour and the art of tap.
Yeah.
But here's something hot off the press. Dean Perry, the show's creator, or as I like to call him, Tap Dog's top dog, has hatched a brilliant plan to turn Tap Dogs into a movie.
A movie?
Tone, come back. Tickets aren't on sale yet.
A movie?
Yeah, you'll have to wait like everybody else. Now, before you run off assuming it'll be some kind of Fred Astaire, Ginger Rogers poof fest, have a listen to what Dean, Tap Dog's top dog, has in store for moviegoers. He says it'll be a darker story, sort of Mad Max meets a tap dancer.
Sorry?
Very tough.
Hang on a sec. Mad Max
He meets a tap dancer. And you know, Tone, I think he's onto something, because I don't know about you, but when I watched Mad Max, I spent the greater part of the film just wishing, hoping someone would throw Max a cane and boater and let him go bananas in the tow department. You know what I mean? He's full of good ideas, isn't he, Dean?
Yeah, who is he again?
Tap Dog's top dog.
I knew it.
Yes, anytime you like. Throw it in. When he's done with Mad Max, maybe we could get him to turn his attention to a few other films just screaming out for the tap treatment.
Right.
Personally, I think Braveheart could have benefited greatly from a couple of show-stopping numbers.
Yeah.
What about The Shining?
Oh, yes.
How scary
yes.
would Jack Nicholson's performance have been if after axing that door down, he'd broken into a bit of a hot shoe shuffle?
Yeah,
Are you with me?
yeah.
Silence of the Lambs.
Oh,
Good
well.
film. But if he had have made that suit out of human skin, bung on the tap shoes and hoofed his way off to the next serial killer, it'd still be playing in the cinemas today.
It needed tap.
It needed tap. You know who we should call?
Who's that?
Quentin Tarantino, and get to work on Reservoir Tap Dogs. No, that'd be bloody frightening. It'd be pretty much the same as Reservoir Dogs, except, you know, the scene where Mr. Blonde ties that bloke up and cuts his ear off.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, instead of the old stuck in the middle with you just get a bit of... Oh, it's chilling. It's too chilling. Oh, it's too not Grace, not for the kiddies.
This is Martin Molloy.
Once they take over Southeast Asia, what's next on their list?
Brought to you by Coca-Cola's new 500ml bottle with an extra 20% free.
This is Martin Molloy, and it's time for this.
Radio Gladiators, your chance to represent your state and win fame, glory, and fabulous prizes. Here's today's challenge.
Hey, Mickey, who's your favourite friend?
Oh, I don't know. It's one of the three women. I can't tell them apart. Who's the one with all the hair?
Oh, I don't know.
You don't care?
They're just
Is
friends.
there one with all the hair?
They're just all friends.
Yeah, they're all in the same pod.
They're all just in that little coffee shop.
There they
that comfy. Have you
There
ever
you
seen
go.
a coffee shop anywhere in the world that looks like that coffee shop on Friends? It's just cushions.
I thought it was someone's house.
It's just cushions. It's like the set of that show Talkin' Footy. That's got way too many cushions on it. I don't know much about sports. I don't know much about sports, but there's just too many cushions on that Talkin' Footy set.
It is.
Everyone should have, they'll get someone on Lethal Lee will be on there. And everyone just looks like Val Dunican. They're sitting there comfy. They've got the cushions. They should all have their V-neck sweaters tied around their necks.
And the couches are too large.
Yeah.
Everyone has that kind of Ronnie Corbett style appearance, you know? They're just slightly too small for those big cushions.
Yeah, but you mentioned that the Friends.
I know nothing about the Friends.
You haven't seen the Friends.
No.
But just go along with it.
I'm pretending.
Oh, look, people love the Friends. It's a comedy program, but I think you've hit upon it. A lot of people can't tell the Friends apart.
Yeah.
Because they're all just young, good-looking, dancing around.
Interchangeable.
That's right. They're all just interchangeable friends.
Yeah.
At least on Seinfeld, there's George Costanza. You know where you are. You can recognise George when he's standing next to the other friends.
You're not about to confuse him with Kramer.
And they've come up with a good answer to this, and I know people will think I'm joking, but when it happens, you'll see that I'm not. Tom Selleck becomes one of the Friends.
Does he really?
Sounds like a joke, doesn't it? Sounds like something that wacky Tony Martin would make up. In the second series, Tom Selleck becomes one of the Friends.
Tom Selleck officially has friends.
That's right. He now has friends. Everyone was just feeling very sorry for him.
You sure that wasn't the story? It just wasn't a headline saying Tom Selleck has a friend.
He becomes the chick with the dark hair's boyfriend. He becomes one of the Friends.
Okay.
That's true, but that's a start. There's someone you can tell apart from the rest of the Friends.
All right.
We're saying today, who would you like to see on the Friends? Let's throw in a wild card.
An
Yes,
extra friend.
An extra friend. Because, as we know, it's the Dalai Lama's favourite show. He's been calling you up, getting him to tape every episode while he's out here.
Clipped the start the other night. Oh, you've never heard the end of it.
And
There you go. There's a good one for a start.
the Dalai Lama.
The Dalai Lama.
That'd probably-
On Friends.
Okay.
Fighting over wardrobe space with Lisa Kudrow.
There you go.
Hey, there you go.
That'd be a plot line for Friends. It'd be the one with the Dalai Lama. People would be calling it that. What about Pauline Hanson? Let's get her in there. She'd love the Friends. They're all white. They've all got jobs. Instead of hanging out at that coffee shop with the cushions, they could all just pile down to Pauline's chippy to partake of her wisdom and one-liners.
I like it a lot. Here's a brainwave. Dr. Kevorkian. No, we wouldn't mind him bringing his work home with him, would we, round at the Friends place?
All right, what
Get
about...
the bunks in. Dr. Kevorkian's over.
What about, you mentioned him earlier, Sterlo from the Sydney Footy Show. In his Smurf gear, just sitting in the corner, saying nothing. Just enigmatically, log lady style in the corner. Or for AFL viewers, Sammy Newman in the tutu.
Mm-hmm.
Something like that.
I like it a lot. What about the Unabomber? Yeah, it's probably a bit large.
Yeah.
That whole flat for the Unabomber.
Yeah,
But,
too much space for it. He could be the...
Chrissy, the opening presents would be a very interesting exercise.
He could be the neighbour, because you've always got to have a wacky neighbour. There's no wacky neighbour on Friends, I don't think. You know, they need someone like... Remember Schneider from One Day at a Time with his tall belt? I think he was in the Village People when he wasn't doing that.
Mm-hmm.
They need, or someone like that bloke on Home Improvement over the fence with the hat. You never see all of him. You know, that's the same kind of relationship Michael Jackson has with his neighbours. That's what that character's based on. The people who live next to the Neverland Ranch send it in.
And that's why they deliberately chose not to show his face, ever. They just had a little cap.
Yeah, just over the top. Are we getting anywhere? I don't think we are. I think it's time to call in the listeners with who you'd like to see as the seventh friend. And do we have a prize? Thank you, the Martin Molloy Singers. We've got a Kahlua 6-pack of CDs. And you'll go into the draw to be part of the Kahlua CD Frenzy at Brasher's Planet Hollywood in Sydney on the 26th of September. There's 10 grand amongst the prizes on the Kahlua CD wall.
And will they be playing this music
I think
at
so.
the Frenzy
Yeah.
to incite the Frenzy?
I hope so. Was that a CD Frenzy at Parliament House a few weeks back?
That was.
Was that an official Kahlua CD Frenzy?
That was a Kahlua Frenzy
I
at
see.
the Parliament House gift shop.
We're drawing it this Friday, and it doesn't matter where you are, where you're calling us from, we'll get you to Sydney. And remember, it doesn't cost you anything from anywhere in the country to give us a call with who you'd like to see as one of the new friends. What about Michael Flatley, Lord of the Dance?
That could work.
What about, they could just be, he could live upstairs. They could just be banging on the ceiling with a broom. Hey, Lordo, keep it down.
What about Robert Downey Jr.? He could move in. Although not till they deal with that imaginary rats problem.
Of course. Call us with your suggestion for a new friend. 1-800-657-657.
Martin Molloy. I'd phone up and complain on the new SAFM.
Denny Hines, it's all right here at Martin Molloy. It's Radio Gladiators, and today we're talking about the Friends program. It's seen on Channel 7 for the time being anyway. Very popular, but I know a lot of people are saying to me, I can't tell them apart. They're all too similar, the Friends. We're looking for a wild card, someone to throw into the mix and just spice it up a bit. Who have we got on the line, Mickey?
We got Kieran on the line. How are you, buddy?
How's it going, guys?
Not too bad at all. And Kieran, you got anything for us in the way of a friend?
Pee Wee Herman.
Oh, Pee Wee Herman. Now, did we see him on Murphy Brown?
Yeah, that's where I got it.
Right, so you'd like to see him on the Friends as well. Well, I suppose so, because I noticed the Friends are doing all the same storylines as Seinfeld. They had the one where somebody saw one of the other friends in the nutty, which was on Seinfeld.
Yep.
And so they could have the one where they all went to the movies. Pee-wee could take them down the local cinema. That could work.
Half price night. There you go.
All right, thanks, Kieran. Pee-wee Herman, can we go better? Rose, are you with us?
Yes, I am.
Rose, what's your idea for a new friend?
Oh, you'd have to want a friend like Björk, wouldn't you?
There's a cat amongst the pigeons.
I've got a second one.
Oh, have you?
If you didn't want a friend like Björk, you'd want Tim Shaw, wouldn't you?
Oh, Tim Shaw.
You wanted a friend, but wait, there's more.
There's more friends. Oh, I'm enjoying the idea of Björk. Because I can just say, welcome to the comfy coffee shop. She could just take
Smash.
it. That's it. Go
Oh,
on.
she's got the right hair.
All
She's
right.
such a sweet girl.
Okay, we'd like to see Björk on the, or even Tim Shaw on the Friends program. But Greg, he's got a suggestion. What is it, Greg?
Nudge from Hey Dad.
Gee, you're going way back, Greg.
And yet you haven't seen it for years. Where's he gone to?
Oh,
You didn't play Nudge from Hey Dad, did you?
I want more. I want to be a world icon.
it's part of his master plan. He's sitting and I'll call Martin Molloy. I'll get on to Friends.
Yeah, I'll just put a balaclava on when I go to the CD Fest.
All right, the frenzy. All right, thanks, Nudge. Next, we've got Janet. Janet, who would you like to see on Friends?
Fat Cat.
Fat Cat.
Fat Cat and Friends. friends.
There you go.
There you go. Oh, you've thought it through. And Janet, what sort of storylines would ensue?
Oh, I'm not too sure, but I think he needs a few friends.
Yes.
There'd be a lot of just sitting around the couch doing nothing. Looking a bit glassy-eyed, I reckon.
It'd be the same program, but a more glassy-eyed and slower version.
People just ringing in for pizzas. Again? What, didn't they do that last week on Friends?
All right, thanks, Janet. Thanks for allowing us to play with your football. Next, we've got Christine. Are you there, Christine?
Yes, hi.
Who would you like to see on the Friends?
Well, I thought because they're young, they're good looking, they've got no jobs, and there's plenty of space on the couch for them. Shane and Bindi Paxton.
Oh, yes.
Oh, they're available.
And they could obviously do that nutty storyline I was referring to earlier. Have you heard about, I think Bindi Paxton's going to be in Playboy later this year. Did you hear about that?
Is she wearing purple and black?
Oh, I don't think she's wearing anything.
I think that's the idea with Playboy.
Yes, we wouldn't know ourselves.
Off with the purple dirt, Bindi. And in the nutty, thank you.
Oh, that'll be a whole current affairs special. But now we've got to speak to Amber. You there, Amber?
Yeah, hi.
Who have you got for the Friends?
Yeah, I thought Gary Coleman would be a good go.
Gary Coleman, they'd have to fly him back from Australia.
Yes, Arnold from, whatever that, Different Strokes, I think it was.
Strokes.
They should get Gary Coleman together with a group living with like 6 people who are about 12.
Yeah.
And just wait till they grow up
Yeah.
and film it every year until you get to the point where what it would look like now if Gary Coleman joined the cast of Friends.
You can just, people would tune in and just watch everyone overtaking Gary Coleman.
There you go.
Although, can I just say, Gary Coleman failed to overtake our own Pete Smith on Sale of the Century last night, apparently.
Yeah.
Did you see that, Amber?
Yeah, he failed dismally, actually.
We didn't see it. How did Pete go? He was pretty good, I
I
hear.
think he got about 70.
Oh, yeah. It wouldn't be rigged, would it?
No, not much, no.
Everyone's seen Quiz Show, have they?
There's a current affairs special. Thanks, Amber. Finally, we've just got time for Tim. Tim, what is your suggestion?
Mate, I think old pasty-faced Alexander Downer will do the trick.
Alexander Downer with Friends.
So they could send him off to settle disputes in the same building with other neighbours and he could make them worse.
Yeah, I think if anyone needs a friend, it's definitely that man.
And, Tim, where are you calling us from? Bottom of a mine shaft?
Actually, I'm just at my job at the moment, just working along.
Right, and that job would be...
in Sydney.
Not as a ghost.
No.
Where are you calling us from?
He's going for the Mir space station.
It's from a barber shop at the moment.
Barbershop. Orbiting the planet. All right, thanks, Tim. If someone will play you a tape of this one day and you'll see what we're talking about. Is it our winner, though? Alexander Downer on the Friends?
It's pretty far-fetched. It's pretty unbelievable.
You going for it?
I'm
biting
I'm happy to, Alexander.
Are you there, Timbo?
Yeah, mate.
You've got yourself the 6-pack of CDs.
You little beauty.
And you've gone into the draw to take part in the Frenzy. That's the Kahlua CD Frenzy. We're drawing that prize this Friday, so be listening then.
I will be.
Okay, thanks for taking part, everybody, and we'll be back in the next hour with, one of our new friends, Daniel Kowalski.
This is Martin Molloy. Brought to you by Coca-Cola's new 500ml bottle with an extra 20% free.
And in this next chunk of Martin Molloy, Pete Smith, has he lost the plot? Another bout of sticky beaks, and next up we're on for a paddle with Daniel Kowalski, all thanks to Coca-Cola's new 500ml bottle. That's the one with that extra 20% free.
Brian Adams still pushing his only thing that looks good on me is you concept here at Martin Molloy. It's the second hour, and as is traditional, let's welcome our guest, this bloke. He likes a dip. He's always on the swim. He brained him at the Olympics, and if the title wasn't already taken, we'd be calling him the Superfish. Instead, we'll address him by the name sewn into the back of his lolly bags. It's Daniel Kowalski. Daniel, thanks for dropping by today.
No, my pleasure. It's great to be here.
Now, where have you been? What have you done?
Well, back from the Olympics, and it's been basically 2 months of letting my hair down and experiencing life on the other side, I guess you could say.
And letting the belt out.
Yeah.
Have a look at you. Have you been training at all?
I started
It's
back...
Homer Simpson. Did Homer Simpson swim for Australia in the Olympics? What's going on here?
I tell you what, it was an ugly side of the pool yesterday morning. Very ugly.
I'm sorry about this, Daniel. Mick's been saying this to me yesterday. He's going, when he comes in, because it's radio, we'll just tell everyone he's really stacked on. He's looking like Marlon Brando.
Fine by me. At least I've got got an incentive to work it all off now.
But it's not true, and you're up at 4:30 in the morning still, is that correct?
Well, I've only done it once since the Olympics, and the alarm went off, and I did not have a clue where I was. Not at all. And I rolled out of bed, hopped in the car, and normally the car knows exactly where to go, and it had a lot of trouble yesterday morning.
And tell me, you got there, it's your first training session in a while. How'd you hold up?
Well, people said, it's like riding a bike, you never forget, but I hopped in, I dived in, lost my breath, found it really hard to breathe, started swimming, and I'd forgotten. I'd literally forgotten how to swim, and that was 2 months. So.
Okay. Did you crack a stitch?
No, but I found it very, very hard to breathe. Right. Very hard.
Now, you mentioned letting your hair down and going to a few parties. Have you ever had an opportunity in your life ever to do anything like that, Daniel, or have you just been swimming from the get-go?
Well, I've always swam, and I basically dedicated, I guess you could say, my life to swimming when I was around 14. I really wanted to make the Olympics, and so this is the first break I've ever had, and I don't know if it's a good thing. I've experienced things I've never done before, and that's probably the last thing I need going back leading up into Sydney, because I know what I could be doing. Yeah. But so
you're like Forrest Gump, just an idiot, just wandering around the streets who knows nothing about anything.
Basically, you know,
swimming.
That's all I knew, and you walk down the street, it's like, oh, look at that, look at that.
So life at the Australian Institute of Sport, it's fairly enclosed. It's all just swimming, swimming, swimming.
I guess you could say I'm lucky I'm not based there, but it's all very similar everywhere you train, and you know, it's up to as much as 6-7 hours a day, depending on where you are. And it's not a lot of fun for most people, but I really enjoy it. That's why I do it. And, you know, going to the Olympics and experience everything, it made it all worthwhile. And everything that I've been doing since I've been back is just a bonus.
Because you snaffled just about more medals than anyone else in the Australian team over there, didn't you? You got a silver and 2 bronze.
Yeah, more individual medals than anybody else. I didn't come up with that, you know, that elusive gold-coloured one, but, you know, that's why I'm hopping back in the pool early now, preparing myself for Sydney, so I'll be ready.
Okay. And do you wear the medals when you're training? Is that is it something that's incentive, reminds you of...
I'll be honest, those medals weigh an absolute ton, which is probably good. You know, when you're in age group swimming, you get these medals and you have a look at them. I pulled one out the other day. That is so small.
Yeah, but what about Nicole Stevenson? She was telling us they're worth like $70 each or something. They're not even made of real silver. Oh, has nobody told you this, Daniel?
No. I was kind of hoping if I really get in trouble, I could go to cash converters and trade them in.
Hey, Daniel, you ever just put all 3 of them on, gone out, hit the town and pretended you were Mr. T?
No, I've gone out and worn them all, but not Mr. T, I can tell you that.
And speaking of wearing things, if we were to pop round to your house and get into the wardrobe, Daniel, would we find one of those Olympic uniforms that you had to wear at the opening ceremony, the slacks?
You'd probably find it right in the boot of my car at the moment.
It's the official Olympic chamois cloth. But what would your choice have been for a uniform? What would you have liked to have been seen wearing walking around the
well, unfortunately, I didn't get to march, but the Canadians had this really nice linen light type of outfit. But the most important thing is you can wear it again, I think. You know, they give us an opportunity to take the pocket off and frame it and then wear another pocket. But, you know, you go there and you want to perform well, but you got to look good as well. That's the most important thing.
Has anyone ever suggested maybe something with, you know, flamenco sleeves, Toreador pants, a little Zorro mask? Has no one's ever come up with something like that?
I think with Sydney being our Olympics, we've got to dare to be different. Why not?
Well, there's a challenge to any young designers out there.
All right, now we are achieving. Daniel, could you stick around for another break with us?
Yeah, I'd love to.
You don't have to pop down the Institute and do a couple of laps?
No, I'll just give my coach a buzz and tell him I'll be late.
All right. And that's Sophie B. Hawkins. Here at
Martin Molloy.
And Daniel Kowalski is still with us. And Mick, have you spotted it yet?
I don't want to talk about it, Tony. Actually, I'm disgusted.
What's down there on your ankle? Share, Kowalski. What is that?
It's a tattoo. And it's a tattoo of the Olympic rings. And because I don't really know if we're meant to have them. But a mate of mine, Tony Ronaldson, who played in the Boomers, we said if we made the Olympic Games team, we'd go get a tattoo. And we headed down to Baronia out a long way out from Melbourne and got it done. And, you know, it's with me the rest of my life now.
It sure is.
You'll be sued by the Olympic Committee, you know that. They're very cautious about that copyright.
They're very cautious about where they want their logo seen. I'm not sure if your ankle is approved. That could be in breach of regulations.
You know, the funny thing is, you're probably right.
He'll have to wear long socks. Did it hurt? Did it hurt?
No, it didn't hurt as much as what I thought it would. It didn't tickle, but, you know, I'd never get it done in other places.
No,
I'll leave it at that.
We don't
Definitely not.
Don't want any Tommy Lee-style tattoos. Now, Daniel, you've come back. You've been partying on. You've got some sort of tattoo. Now, tell us, do you have a band? That's my next question, because we had Trevor Hendy on recently. A lot of sportsmen like to have bands in their spare time. Is that something you're into?
No, not at all. I'd love to be able to play an instrument, but I saw John McEnroe on stage the other day on TV, and if I was half as bad as him,
yes.
mate, yeah. That's not good. Doesn't do sportsmen or women a good image, I don't think. And I'll stick to the pool because you should hear me at a karaoke bar.
What about shaving the noggin? Most swimmers at some stage go the old shave.
I feel nude without a swim cap on. I feel like I'm naked. I need to have a complete set, the goggles, the cap, and shave the head. I just feel as though there's something missing, so I decided to keep my hair as I normally do. And everyone else does it except for Kieran and myself, and they call us, you look at the puffy little distance swimmers not shaving their heads, and, we're all used to it.
Let's talk Kieran for a minute. How do you get on?
Yeah, we get along well.
Yeah?
We get along well, despite the fact that every journalist in the country, I think, wants us to say, it's a bit of rivalry, we hate one another. But
yeah, well, we're no exception, so if you could start spitting something out.
Started exclusive here on Martin Molloy. No,
he's a good egg.
We get along very well, and, away from the pool, we hang out a little bit together. We did while we were away. And
bet you he hasn't got a tattoo.
I bet you're right.
He has. It's got Uncle Toby's, I think. he has to take it off after 4 years, apparently. Have you had the big products being thrown at you yet, Daniel? I don't want to talk out of school, but are you getting advertisers queuing up for your services?
Well, it's been great, and I might as well plug them now. Arena Swimwear, Crown Casino, Ford. Why not? And, the guys at Advantage International, might as well plug them as well. They've been doing a great job. And, for me, I think the most fulfilling thing that I've done, I went to the Children's Hospital in Sydney, and you really could feel that you did something for those kids in that ward there where we were at. And other than that, I've been doing a lot of speaking, but it's been great.
And when you were at the Children's Hospital, did, say, one of the kiddies just look up at you out of bed and say, why haven't you got your head shaved, you puffy little distance swimmer? Did it happen at all?
No, it didn't. And, one of the kids in there, he was a real smart ass. I couldn't believe it.
Starting at a young age. Do you care about image? Because that's quite important, as you say, with, I suppose, with sponsors and with profile. Have you ever thought of a nickname? Have you got a nickname? Because we want to call you Killer.
Well, that's what most people call me, is Killer. And other than that, I'm just boring old Daniel or Dan. And,
what about Daniel Kowalski, Lord of the Pool?
No, stick to Killer.
Stick to Killer, you reckon?
Yeah, I think so.
I'll take that as a no.
Well, Daniel, thanks for coming in and having...
just before you do go,
yes.
Nicole Stevenson, I believe, told us to ask something about a tennis player over in Atlanta. Were you seen in some kind of amorous embrace, Daniel? Is there anything you want to talk about on air right now? Read the personal life that might possibly interest me and Tone and the greater nation as a whole?
No, I really can't tell you what Nicole is talking about, and I'll leave it at
that.
Okay.
We'll tell you later, people, when he's gone.
There you go. Another bombshell on Martin Molloy. Yes, all right. Well, thanks for talking to us, Daniel Kowalski.
Thank you.
And exhale. Yeah, we weren't supposed to play that version of it, Gracie. Haven't we got the toned-down version?
Well.
That's Alanis Morissette, you learn. Here at Martin Molloy, and before that, Daniel Kowalski. Thanks for talking to us. Killer! Are we calling him Killer from now on?
Call him Killer.
All right. If you see him in the street, ask to see the tat. Because he hasn't got any gigs for me to plug. I'm just looking.
I'll be appearing at Harold Holt Pool this Friday, doing breaststroke.
And demand to see is a legal tat. Is it illegal? I hope you haven't gotten him in any trouble.
He'll just have to build on it. He'll have to turn it into something else, Mr. Squiggles style. He'll have to turn his ankle upside down.
Whenever Antonio Samaranch comes by, he'll have to stand on his head. It's not the Olympic rings, look, it's nothing like it. Thank you very much, Daniel, for dropping by. Our guest yesterday was John Farnham, if you remember, and he told us, a fairly unsavoury story, pretty typical of him, about mooning. Accidentally, didn't mean to, accidentally mooning a woman and her daughter. It was backstage at a concert. It was in the afternoon. They were doing the sound check. There wasn't meant to be any people from the GP there. And
thought it was coast clear.
That's right.
Pants down.
And unfortunately, someone copped it. And what happened today, Em? The woman in question phoned up our Brisbane office.
Yeah, her name was Heather. and she was the woman who was mooned.
Is that right?
And how was she? Was she a bit fragile? Was she a bit teary? Had she gotten over it?
I think she was bemused.
Right.
That's Heather from Mount Isa.
Did she have any bombshells? Is there anything she can tell us?
No.
She mentioned something about implants. I'm sure. I'm not saying too much.
We've been trying to contact Heather today, but she's not answering the phone. I think she's in trauma counselling. So at least it confirmed that story for us.
It did indeed. And we'd like to speak to her at some stage to get the other side, because we like to be balanced here at Martin Molloy.
That's
We've
right.
heard it from Farnham. Now let's hear from the victim.
If she's listening, give us a call. But in the meantime...
It's time to invade the privacy of fellow Australians as we play Sticky Beaks. Here's how it works. We need two complete strangers to call us here at Martin Molloy. During the break, Mick and Tony will pry into their personal lives and extract the information they need to pit our two beaks against each other.
Not the girl you think you are.
If you're our winning Sticky Beak, you'll bag the entire Crowded House CD back catalogue. And you'll go into the draw for 1 week in your very own dream house, a castle in Germany, where you'll be presented with the 1 millionth copy of Crowded House's recurring dream and be packed off to the concert of your choice. All thanks to Arc Music TV, only on Optus Vision. You know, listeners, it may surprise you to learn that I myself have been sticky beaked. It was during my brief but intense affair with Princess Stephanie of Monaco during the late 80s. Those parasites from the paparazzi wouldn't leave me alone. And when the new weekly decided to run that sealed section containing explicit photographs of me cavorting with some exotic dancer, well, that was it. The royal wedding was off. And by the way, New Weekly, I'll have you know that was a genuine copper art candlestick down my Speedos. Can't a man enjoy a piece of unrivaled Aussie craftsmanship without being subjected to slurs and innuendo?
Oh, well, it's a disgrace. Pete, a victim of the paparazzi. We'll be talking about Pete in more detail later in the program, but right now let me inform you that we're not joking. We're not joking. It's a castle in Germany.
A proper one.
You're sitting there in the throne. Someone from a record company sort of shuffles in like some little worm with a platter containing the 1 millionth copy of Recurring Dream, the Crowded House Best Of. And we were joking earlier in the week, we were going, oh, it's not like Frankenstein's castle or nothing. Turns out you're visiting Frankenstein's castle. You're not staying there.
Oh, no.
Oh, no, that doesn't get 5 stars in the guide, but you're off to Neustadt. I'm assuming that's how you say it.
That'll do.
Wouldn't know, not German.
That's how Klink would have said it on Hogan's Heroes.
Okay.
Neustadt!
Well, that's where you're going. You're going to
Neustadt!
to visit Frankenstein's... I thought Frankenstein was a fictional creation.
Oh, no. Well, maybe we could send him to Michael Jackson's castle.
Now, there's a fictional creation.
Frightening.
Is he there? Has he got a castle?
He's buying one in France, isn't he, near Euro Disney?
Yeah.
And we'll put the pieces together yourself, people. And, yeah, that's it. So that'll be frightening.
Yeah.
You could even organise a little ghost train carriages to take you through that one.
But what's Michael Jackson up to in Russia? I've been reading about him going around to Liebed, Alexander Liebed, who's, I don't know exactly his position, but I know he's always down the hospital checking out how the ops coming along with the ops. And is he still with us? Okay. I'll just be out here waiting if you need me.
And Alexander Liebed has refused to meet him. And I'm thinking, this is the bloke who flew to Chechnya to settle one of the most dramatic civil wars. He's not a fraidy cat. He's generally not a fraidy cat, but they've said meeting with Michael Jackson. He's going, run away like a girlie.
He's under the desk. I'm not here. I'm not here. What has that got to do with Sticky Beaks? Nothing at all. Call us and be aware, as always, that we will be sticky beaking into your personal affairs during the ad break. If you'd like to play, call us now, 1-800-657-657.
This is Martin Molloy.
If there's any nonsense, I may have to manhandle them both.
Brought to you by Coca-Cola's new 500ml bottle with an extra 20% free. The radio.
Yes, it's time to play Sticky Beaks here at Martin Molloy. It's time to beak up. It's a very simple competition. It couldn't be simpler if it was designed by Pauline Hanson. That's how simple it is. It's members of the general public answering questions about each other. Introduce the beaks, Mick Molloy.
Check out the beak on this bloke. It's Peter. How are you, Pete?
Not bad. How are you?
I can't complain. Are you having a good day?
Oh, wonderful. For a furniture removalist?
For a furniture removalist. Oh, yeah. Any interesting jobs? Moved anyone famous?
Oh, yeah. Do a lot of work for the puppet.
The puppet?
Oh, for aggro?
Yeah.
Oh, so you're calling us from Brisbane?
Yes, we sure are.
Right, what sort of furniture would you be moving for aggro?
The puppet box.
Oh, I see.
And the bags of money.
Oh, yeah. You're driving an armour guard van.
That's the one. All right, who's taking him on, Mickey?
And I believe it's Liz, is it?
Yes, Liz, are you with us?
Yeah, I'm here.
Liz, what have you been doing today? Moving heavy objects?
Yes, I have, actually.
Oh, really? Anything you can tell us? Is that going to give away any questions?
Burying dead bodies?
No, it was large pot plants.
Oh, large pot plants. Nothing illegal, I hope?
No.
All right, okay. Watch out for the helicopters. Now,
Look at us, we haven't even started the competition and we're sticking our beaks into other people's business.
We're going too far. Let's get things underway and start the beaking. Kick us off, Mickey.
Liz, my first question is to you. The last time Peter was in trouble with the law, it was for A, trespassing, B, speeding, C, purchasing a rare impressionist painting for well below the market price.
B.
B is correct.
Yes, indeed.
We're away.
And what about you, Peter? Got a question for you about Liz. When relaxing round the house, Liz likes to wear A, Ugg boots, B, tracky dacks, C, Bryan Adams.
I'll go for tracky decks because she's got style like you, Blake.
Oh, I'm afraid she hasn't got that much style. She's going for Ugg boots. Ugg boots.
She's Victorian, isn't she?
Oh, Liz, are you Victorian?
No, not that I'm going to admit to.
Oh, all right. And what kind of Ugg boots have you got? Are they the good ones, or?
Yeah, they're a beautiful shade of pink.
Very nice. The pink Ugg
for evening wear.
Yes. That's right.
I'm still getting over Peter. You went speeding in that furniture truck, were you, buddy?
No.
Oh, not going to give away too much?
Oh, you can't give away too much when you're next copper.
I think you've given away too much already. And why'd you get out of the game, Pete?
Criminal Justice Commission had an inquiry up there called Fitzgerald Inquiry.
Enough said. I think we've stuck our beaks in where it's not particularly wanted.
That's what Sticky Beaks is all about. Okay.
Good on you, Peter. All right, Liz, my next question is to you.
Or is it Sir Peter?
Sir Peter. Sir Peter.
Fire at him.
The television personality Sir Peter most resembles is A, Tom Selleck, B, Baby John Burgess, C, Teddy from Murder One.
Oh, gee, C.
No, I'm afraid not. It was, in fact, Tom Selleck, according to Sir Peter.
And as you know, Liz, you should know nobody else looks like Teddy from Murder One. And here's a question for you, Peter, about Liz. If they were to make a TV program based on life at Liz's place, the show it would most resemble is A, Friends, B, Animal Hospital, or C, Stephen King's The Stand.
I'd go for Animal Hospital.
Yes, indeed. Correct. What's the story there, Liz?
I have 3 very boisterous children.
Right. And it's like Animal Hospital. What, is Eden Gahar popping around with the rubber gloves on? Any of that action?
I wish.
I see.
Actually, when my husband puts the rubber gloves on, I run away.
Okay. Wise move. Just keep running, Liz. Don't look back. Don't look back. All right, Peter. Oh, no, Liz, question to you. Peter thinks the Dado brothers, A, should do a show together, B, should be called the Dorco brothers, C, should be locked in a hotel room till they punch the crap out of each other like those Gallagher brothers.
A.
No, not at all. I'm afraid he thinks they should be called the Dorco brothers. Is that true, Pete?
Yeah, definitely.
You're on record?
He has no taste.
He has no taste. Oh, well.
That's true, the Dorco brothers comment. That came out in the Fitzgerald inquiry. Now, final question for you, Peter. Liz thinks that all that Irish river dance stuff is A, fabulous, B, tedious, C, not a patch on the Macarena.
I reckon if she wears Ugg boots, she'd have to go for C.
Oh, no, I'm afraid she thinks it's fabulous. She loves the Irish dancing. So what does that mean? It's a tie. We're going to have to go to the tiebreaker. Are you ready, Beaks?
Yeah.
Here's what happens. We give you the question, and after I've said all the choices, the first one to get it right, just come in, just say A, B, or C. One who gets it right wins. Here we go. The Martin Molloy tiebreaker, as always, it concerns Mick or myself. Which of the following television programs has not been interrupted by an unscheduled appearance from Mick Molloy in his underpants? A, Channel 9's Ernie and Denise.
B, the ABC's For Love or Money, C, Channel 10's Good Morning Australia with Bert Newton. Which is it?
Good Morning Australia.
Oh, no, I'm afraid you're both wrong. Take another guess. Yes! Is that legal? Is that legal, Em?
Speaking of inquiries, there's got to be one into this particular segment.
Liz, I'm afraid you've got it right. It's you.
Oh, excellent.
You've got the Crowded House CD back catalogue and you've gone into the draw for the big trip to Germany.
Oh, great.
Courtesy Arc Music TV on Optus Vision. And as for you, Peter?
Can we get him into some kind of protection scheme?
We've got a Martin Molloy fashion accessory for you.
Yeah, what's that?
Well, you'll find out when you open up the brown paper package. We'll just leave that in the usual place. Thanks very much for playing Sticky Beaks, the both of you. We'll be back with another round tomorrow on Martin Molloy.
Thank you, sir, but please don't shove your big nose in my business. Your big nose in my business. That's Nosy Joe, the nosiest guy I know. Dig that nose.
That's Madonna here at Martin Molloy. And did we make it through Sticky Beaks in one piece, Mickey?
So, yeah. There will be an inquiry.
No, I won't say anything more about the inquiry. Poor old Peter calling us up. And that's what Sticky Beaks is all about, isn't it?
That's it.
You just happen to mention to a bloke, how'd you lose your job on the police force, and you're likely to get an answer like that, aren't you?
That's it, it'd have to be something in that terrain.
It was about the time of the Fitzgerald inquiry. Say no more,
Your Honour.
And just to sort out that tiebreaker, just so as you know, of course, what was the question? It was about you and your underpants. We said which was the show you hadn't run onto in your underpants. Years ago, this is back in the 50s when we were doing TV shows. You'd been on Ernie and Denise.
Correct.
You'd been on Bert Newton.
Done it.
And I think they said one of those each. So the answer was the one in the middle, For Love or Money. Why didn't you get to For Love or Money?
Because, as you know, it's an antiques program, Tone.
Right.
And they had trouble dating my underpants. I think they were older than most of the exhibits on the actual show.
Right.
But they went it with a monocle. They had a good look, but just went, no.
Okay.
Sorry.
Well, I'm glad.
Too confusing.
I'm glad we've got that sorted out. So it's all above board, and let's move on to something more serious. Pete?
Attention, gun owners. Taking your firearm in for disposal at one of those government collection centres can be distressing. Hours of queuing and waiting, all for what? Just to see your beloved semi-automatic or surrendered shotgun crushed beyond recognition by some faceless bureaucrat with a clipboard. Where's the fun in that? That's why we're inviting you to bring your illegal fire stick to the Martin Molloy Gun Disposal Fun Park. At Martin Molloy, gun disposal means fun disposal. Instead of letting some gun-hating city slicker twist your favourite shotty into a boring V-shape, why not let Mick and Tony turn it into a fun shotgun animal even the kids can enjoy?
Here we go. Was a deadly Beretta A390. Now, a harmless and amusing elephant.
Very good indeed.
Now, who wants to see a giraffe?
Go and get the rifle out of the boot, son.
But, Dad, the rifle's not even on the banned list.
Go and get it. I want that giraffe.
What red-blooded country boy wouldn't want to see their favourite AK-47 crushed under the wheels of a steamroller, driven by Penthouse Pet of the Year, Christy Lane? When we offered to flatten the barrel of his priceless family blunderbuss by dropping a hog-tied nude and greased-up Laurie Oakes onto it, even Mr. Grumpy Pants Ted Drain couldn't say no. And you'll be taking to your own 22 with a sledgehammer once we've pointed out, if you hit it hard enough, the impact will propel a 3-pound sinker fair up our lifelike replica of Jackboot Johnny's poop chute.
Hard as you can, buddy.
The Martin Molloy Gun Disposal Fun Park. Firearm flattening fun for the whole family.
It is the new single from Barnsey.
Jimmy
Barnsey. Haven't been able to say Barnsey on the show for at least 3 days.
We've been champing at the bit to say Barnsey.
It's called Lover, Lover, and I understand it's in the shops Monday.
Hello to all our good friends at Mushroom.
That's right.
They're having a good year, aren't they?
Well, they've the Brown album, you know.
The Brown album went through the roof with them, mate.
Yeah.
And then,
Did it through the roof? Is this where you got to talk like a record?
mate, through the roof.
Yeah.
Still doing huge numbers. Yeah.
Units.
Good in Asia. It's doing well in Asia.
Doing well in Asia. That's what happens when we call them up at Mushroom there. How's the Brown album going? Good. Oh, big in Asia. Selling a lot of Browns, are we? And is that what John Howard's taken over to President
That's
Suharto?
what he's doing. I brought you a Brown album. That's how we're going to address the balance of trade problem with Asia.
Is that right?
It's going to be a Brown album-led recovery.
All right. You know what we're doing, listeners? We're just filling because we're waiting for Wheel of Fortune to come back on.
Come on, you bastards!
Because we're waiting to see how the new format changes are impacting on the program. They've gone back to the old format. They've decided people didn't like the new Wheel of Fortune, so now it's the new Wheel of Fortune.
So they changed the wheel?
They've gone back, according to the paper today, they've returned to a 3-puzzle format.
Good on them.
Yeah, a lot of programs have a 3-puzzle format.
But they changed the wheel. Are they going back to the original wheel?
Oh, the old one was sticking, according to several, or the new one was sticking, according to letters to the editor.
If they change the wheel? Have they got like a pit crew? Run out, quickly whip it off, 4 blokes in overalls, whip it off, whip it on, they clock it out of there.
Oh, yeah. 7 seconds to change the format of Wheel of Fortune. They've got it down to that. Now, just while we're talking game shows quickly.
It's a retread. They're giving the wheel a retread.
It needs a retread. Still hasn't come back on. Still commercial. Surprise, surprise. But, Gracie, I understand you saw a game show. You saw Sale of the Century last night where our own Pete Smith brought home the bacon.
Pete is a quiz show god. He got 105 points, and the closest person was Gary Coleman on 60. Chelsea Brown lost 5 from her original starting thing with 15, and Ross Higgins, the voice of Snap, Crackle and Pop, ended up with 20. But Pete won about $5,000 worth of stuff for his home viewer. He had to keep apologising for winning, but when it got down to those fast money things, it just went Pete Coleman, Pete Coleman.
Is that right?
And did he tell himself how much he'd won? Did he say? I've just won $5,000.
He had to read out his own prizes.
He wiped the floor with Arnold. It's back. It's Wheel of Fortune. Turn the sound up, Mickey. Let's see if we can detect any change to the format.
All I've got is a bit of Adriana Exenides and the word person written underneath. Thanks for pointing it out.
Here we go. Exciting changes underway.
It's almost unrecognisable.
That could well be SBS. I don't recognise that as either the old or new wheel.
I want to see Tony Barber dressed as a Smurf.
Let's do it.
That's my idea of a fundamental change.
Let's call him up. I don't know. I don't even recognise that program, Mickey. It could be in a foreign language.
What is it? Am I on SBS?
They've broken it.
Hey, was Gary Coleman there, Gracie? On sale? He was there? Sitting next to Pete? There? Would have looked like a bit of a ventriloquist actor, I reckon. Pete sitting there with a little...
Well, does that mean Pete goes through the finals? Yes, indeed it does. So that'll be later in the week. We'll be watching out for that. Thanks to our guest today, Daniel Kowalski, and all our beaks and gladiators. We'll be back tomorrow with a very special guest indeed. In other words, we don't know who it is yet. So join us then. If you can't say something intelligent, come talk to us.
Martin Molloy is a misguided production in association with half-baked ideas and ill-conceived concepts Proprietary Limited. Brought to you by Coca-Cola's new 500ml bottle with an extra 20% free. Pete Smith speaking.